Welcome in, welcome in.
Welcome in, welcome in.
Welcome in. Welcome back to Do It for the Story. Let me grab my glass. It's the top of the episode.
I'm Morgan.
And I'm Stacey. Cheers.
Cheers.
Divas, dips.
Divas, dips.
Tastes like the weekend.
Literally thinking the same thing. Okay, so do you, after you take a drink, do you go, hold on, let me do it. Do you do that because you just did it?
You know what's funny? I do it.
I always
It's the short answer.
I always do it. And Joe, I never realized it until Joe brings it up all the time. And
Angels.
Does it.
You're saying about JD. Joe Don, Morgan's husband.
My JD, yeah.
Yes, I do it is the short answer. When I realized I did it was because JD said you did it, was just talking like, oh, more in the moment you did it. And then like the next day, I caught myself doing it.
Oh my God.
Because Angel does it.
Angel does it.
Yeah. But yes, I do I don't do it. He's like, what do you think you're making? Michael? Yeah, maybe I was. I'm a 90 kid, Michael Jordan, Gatorade.
It feels
If
good.
you don't know the Michael Jordan, you weren't a kid of the 90s. You know what I'm talking about?
Now I do, yeah, but I would not have remembered that. But I don't have that good of a memory.
I'm a big MJ girl.
Oh my God, that was such a great time. Like, I just remember being so in love with basketball. It was really fun.
You were in love with the men.
Oh, I loved the Ben. I loved Kobe Bryant.
Morgan,
He was the only guy
on
ever
older
had
guys at like a
always,
young age.
Always.
Oh, who was the guy, actor with the mustache? Magnum PI?
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, shoot. Are we going to have to actually Google him? That's terrible. Wait, hold on.
I got you. But while I think of him, you also...
oh, why can't I have friends and everything? Anyway, but I was in love with him. And that was when I was 4 because I remember being by myself. Like it was like 4 and 5 for sure that I was like in love with him.
Tom Selleck.
Why
did that take so long?
Tom Selleck. Well, because we're stoned.
Yeah.
Because this is the 420
Even
episode.
what you did, I realized you said Friends.
Friends. He was the guy on Friends. Remember? He was
Monica dated him. The older guy.
They got
right.
engaged, I think. I don't know. I didn't. Yeah.
But yes, Morgan at like, how old were you?
I was definitely 4. And then because I remember it was Lindsay wasn't there. She was in kindergarten or first grade. I remember it was like I was home,
You remember watching it.
I remember watching it. I loved him. Really, genuinely was very attracted to him.
Tom Selleck.
Always. And then I remember my first real crush, human, like alive, not on the TV. You know what I mean? Like in person, I'm stoned. So my words are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was on my dad's softball team. We used to go all 4 of us.
Oh my
Yes.
God. This is so funny. And that just sounds just that clip.
Yeah.
Forever needs stills with that.
Yes, no, seriously. And all 4 of us, because this was pre-Mimi.
This is true. I remember it.
Yeah. We would, of course, always go to the games with my mom. We would have so much fun, like playing in the dirt and everything in the park.
Young children.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, we were
I'm like
little,
talking. I was
little,
probably
little.
4 at this point.
Oh,
And
no,
younger,
you
like
weren't 4.
infancy
You
into-
weren't 4. Yeah,
Okay.
you were like little. Because I remember being very little. I remember being like 4, 5, 6. Because he was family friend. He was on
Right.
the, softball and all the things. So it was like he was around for like a couple of years when we were young. And I was in love with him.
She was.
He
I was
was
like, I
blue
want to be
eyes.
with him.
Yeah, blue eyes.
And he was like the young guy on the team.
The
like,
young
he was
guy
the
on the
young
team.
one of the
He
crowd.
was probably, I would guess, like early 20s, somewhere in his
Had
20s.
to be like probably.
I totally was.
I
That
would
would've
say,
made
yeah,
sense.
he was like 23 or something.
Yeah.
He probably now looking back was like 24.
I think he was probably 24, yeah. And I was probably 4, 5, or 6. And I was
Morgan
in
always
love.
was like, but you were always like that around. We were saying this the other
I always
day.
loved men.
I remember going to one basketball camp, like clinics.
Yeah.
When we were really little. That was probably like kindergarten for a second, but still we were young.
Yeah.
And us coming home from the clinic and being like, oh my God, like this hot guy, like we
Yeah.
were on the hot guys team
Hot
and
guys
stuff.
team.
Mom being like, oh my God.
I know,
And
like-
us sitting there and also going on vacation with our grandparents to, we would go to Rehoboth Beach when we were really little. Or like with our grandparents, they would take us every summer.
Yeah.
And it was just a grandparents, grandkids trip. And we would be on the beach saying to each other, PH meant possible hottie.
Oh my
And so
God.
we'd be
I
like,
totally forgot about
PH,
this.
like 8 o'clock. And it was like our code word to be able to be saying it so grandma and grandpa would know what we were talking about. But we also would.
And public, because we were probably screaming it.
When it was like you more being a preteen. So again, I'm probably like
I love
8. I'm
being
probably like
preteen.
3rd grade. Kiki or I 3rd and 4th in our like matching Gap terry cloth, like summer outfits. Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Those.
We had our little Gap kids look.
Totally.
And Morgan, like going to the boardwalk, you're like older guys working the rides, like everything. You're like, that guy's hot.
Oh,
like,
do you remember the freaking
hot.
Emmitsburg Carnival? Is my mic definitely out? I don't know why I'm paranoid. I think because I'm high.
No, it's just close to you.
Because I feel like I can't hear it in my headphones.
You can't?
Not very well.
Should we take a
Can you
block?
say something? Wait, no, I think I can. But can you turn it up? How do you do that?
It's your go to the board and hit number 1. This one? Yeah, and turn it up.
Test.
What is that doing? Anything?
Test. Okay, yeah, that was it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we'll just keep going.
We back. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's okay. See something, say something.
Yeah, I just did. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to have messed it up.
Yeah, if we're not recording.
You can hear me in your headphones, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Totally. But yeah, just everywhere we went. Anyway, energy.
No, we
This is
always
also the
were
high
paying
episode.
attention.
We're going to call this high thoughts.
High
High stories.
High stories.
High
Because,
thoughts, high stories.
Okay, let's actually. So
we're not necessarily high in all these stories. Just be.
No, we're not. None of these are. We were just in my childhood. I was 4 and I was stoned in love with a man. No, no. But the reason. Okay, so I'm going to also preface with we sat down stoned because it's our 420 episode. So we were like, we're going to get high.
Happy holidays.
And then we started rambling about stuff. We were like, oh, we should probably be recording this. But what were we actually? And then so we just somehow we
had
the conversation.
An outline and we said, let our ADHD take the wheel and let's lean into the art. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
We just kind of were like, we were testing out the equipment and rambling on, and we said, let's just hit the record button. And welcome the listeners in, you know?
This is the background.
Into the minds of the diffs. I'm kidding.
This is the story behind the story of a podcast.
Could be a little extra. That could be a little extra dose behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, exactly. Anyway, so
welcome back in.
Welcome back in.
Let's reset.
And let's start off with our 420 story. I think I should start this story, in fairness.
Yeah, go for it.
In fairness. So we were like, oh, 420, let's record an ep for that. And then we're like, oh, what's the story behind this one? And I said, oh, I got it. I know what it is pretty quickly. It's a Snoop Dogg story.
Snoop. Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
We love you, Snoop.
Dogg.
Oh my.
Do you remember that one?
God. That was Morgan for you all who are
Stacey
listening.
doesn't want to be attached to it. That's rude.
Hey,
you didn't want anyone to think that was you?
Just dying.
Anyway, no. So one of my jobs, my early 20s, as you've heard in previous episodes, I was a recruiter, and it was a sale, for a staffing firm. So essentially it was sales. And so, we would be networking and connected to all these people all across DC.
And going to the events and the dinners.
And sometimes, people liked you. They were like, hey, you guys should come to this event. And we get invited to their stuff and, whatever. So I had a client that, oh God, what was the name of that nonprofit? I'm spacing on the name, but basically they manage the rights behind this was, and I don't know if it would, I guess it would still exist too for even streaming, but managing the rights behind the number of times the song is played and making sure that the artists get paid. And it was actually pretty cool. It was like a bridge between that. And don't quote me, it's been freaking 15 years since I've talked to those people. But anyway, so they were like, oh, hey, to me and 2 other coworkers. Oh, hey, that also ran the account. I was accounting, one was technology, do y'all want tickets to our holiday party this year? And we were always invited every year. Their holiday party was always at the 930 Club, and, because they're this music nonprofit. Club. And it'd be, an awesome private show just for the nonprofit and then their guests. So they would have a couple tickets that they would have for people that they were like appreciative of, help them, throughout the year. And then obviously artists and whatever. And so the 1 year we didn't like know up until kind of like last minute. Like it was always like who's it going to be? If I recall, we knew it was a holiday party, but it wasn't like a guaranteed like thing. And I had last minute booked a flight to California to go visit our cousins, because we would do that. We're close with them, fly out, like have like, this was in our early 20s. So I'd be like on the beach with hot guys, like totally like living the dream. I'm sorry. It was it totally was. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah. It was fun atmosphere. It was great. And so, what I'm saying is I was excited to go.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you were going on a fun trip.
I was going on a fun trip. And so anyway, but the artist ended up being Snoop Dogg. And so I, of course, being the sister that I am, I always invited the sisters to any like events, anything that I had. Like,
yep, and we always appreciate
hockey,
your work,
professional hockey games, professional basketball games, like anything in DC, you name it, or a random like invitation to some kind of party. Always bring a sister, because you share the wealth.
Bring your plus one. Make it a good one.
It would be more fun too.
Yeah,
that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was like, okay, you guys still go to the show. So I was like, okay, here's all the tickets. So literally, Lindsay, Kiki, Stace, our friend Cass, they all go to this show. And I am like getting the live updates, because at this point we are whatever year it was, we do now have texting. So we're texting. I'm getting all the updates. I am like having a time, but I was also like, oh my God, like FOMO. But the fucking hilarious thing is, because of this is just a quick side note, because of the sisterhood, that's you guys actively are texting me, keeping me up to date the whole time. Then I'm getting the whole debrief the next day. I'm telling you guys about my night in LA and the whole thing.
I can't believe. We felt so bad. Morgan got us the tickets and then couldn't be there.
No, but I literally have no FOMO. I honestly think this makes the story better.
Was saying do it for the story.
Do it for the story. I was like, Kiki, get backstage. I was like, get backstage, do the thing, do the thing.
We kind of always had this thing, and I'll just caveat with.
It was do it for the story.
We do it for the story, but we also had this like kind of
it was like a dare you bit that was.
But when we were at concerts, get on stage.
Get on stage.
If there was an event with a stage, we would laugh and say, "Get on stage."
This could be at the local pub,
beer festival,
anything.
A stage at like a club
or a dive bar.
Oh my God,
which one?
Gin and tonic.
Oh my God, gin and tonic. If I had $1 for every prayer,
James,
there's some great content of me dancing.
So it was more of like you're saying, it's like a date. It was like a dare. Get up close, get front row at a show.
Don't be embarrassed.
Okay, so at the concert, so we're standing there, and it, like you said, it was a benefit. Or like a charity event, so it was also like a smaller show.
Yes, it
was
intimate. It was
930 Club DC. If you know, you know.
If you know, you
intimate venue, great times. But
oh my God,
so it wasn't like it was also so funny because it was Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa when they were touring together. So
wait, was Wiz there too?
Yes, Wiz Khalifa was there too.
I'm dead. I literally,
but we weren't hanging out with Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, no, that was like a total. That was not the excitement of the story, and that's why I don't even remember that he was there. I've seen Wiz, great,
totally love you, Wiz Khalifa. We love you, Wiz Khalifa. It was a great show.
Yes. I've seen Snoop other times. That was the other thing too. I was that girl that we always went to the shows. A lot of festivals. I had seen Snoop. I was going to see him again. But that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point. That wasn't the point. The point was, I said, Gigi, then you better fucking get backstage. Like, if you guys are going to fucking be there at Snoop, I got you these tickets, go.
Yeah, it was like, have fun, divas, don't worry.
Because the other times I had been there, remember, did you go with me? I don't even remember the other artist.
We went to Mike Posner. Remember, his drummer gave me the drumstick.
Dude, I was going to say, I think we were back. Yeah. Yeah.
His drummer was texting me like, we
like,
should
get up
hang
front.
out.
Yeah.
Like, we should.
That's right.
It was like Thanksgiving coming up, and he was like, hey, like, it was so great. Like,
Dude,
I was in a relationship at the time.
That was, I know, but I was like, Stacey, come on.
I know.
I know.
Anyway, they wanted us to go hang that night. They were like, where should we go in DC? But it was just a fun little flirtatious.
You know, it's like keep life fun and light and exciting. Anyway, so Snoop. So I knew from this previous show that you can get up close and personal because it's intimate. So Kiki during the show is like making eyes.
No, it's like all of us too. That we're in heels.
for sure.
We're also wearing heels back because this is
back in the day.
This is 2000.
2000. You didn't go outside without your heels on.
I don't even know. Was this
let's
like
be real.
2012? I have no idea.
It must have been 2011, 12, something like
somewhere
that.
In that. Yeah,
no,
yeah. You know what? I think you're right. I think it was when I was working at my first job.
Even.
It definitely was.
It was early.
It was like 2012, I think. 2011, 2012.
Like
because I remember my boss at the time was like, oh my God, you smoked with Snoop Dogg.
So they end up going behind backstage. They get invited backstage.
Snoop Dogg's bodyguard was like, you know, we were having fun during the show. We're up front. Snoop is like, we're knowing the lyrics. Also, the crowd, it's funny. It's corporate. So we were laughing throughout the show, being like, look how many white people are at a Snoop Dogg concert.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say white people, I like mean that in the best way. It was just like, you know, like what you would picture at, like, for us, like more of the, what the dance floor looks like at a wedding.
Yes.
When it's a white couple, and what the dance floor looks like at a wedding when it's a black family.
Right.
Or there are black family members there, or you know what I mean, or like not Latina, like it's not just
quinceañera.
When the minorities and the gays show up.
Yes,
let's just call it what it is. Dance floor is usually popping a little bit.
That's okay,
more.
But you guys accept
and
us,
fine.
and you want us to
we
be there,
love
and you want us to hype.
Totally,
and I'm here for it.
But we're just giving you visual, like everybody knows it.
Visual.
You know,
yeah.
There was like a lot of corporate vibes. So anyway, we're up front, and we're wearing heels back in the day. The typical.
Oh my God, they were so big.
They
were so big. I can't believe.
So we're tall gals anyway.
Yeah, so you're in there like
we're in there.
6 feet.
Bodyguards are loving it, and they're kind of like, hey, after the show, like, come here. And I'm like, oh my God, Kiki's like, go, it's happening. Like, cause of course we were playing to the side people, not like side people, but I say like we were like curtain side, security, you know what I mean? Everybody, the lighting, and sound, lighting people, everybody on crew.
Everybody on crew, and then
I say it like I know it. Like,
I mean, yeah.
But seriously, because we also, another story.
Yeah.
But so the bodyguard says like, do you want to, you know, come with us? We're like, fuck yeah, you know, come back.
Yep.
So
definitely
we're like, okay, so it's, you know, 4 of us, blah, blah. He's like, it's fine.
Yep.
Says something to Snoop. We go up. We're in backstage, chilling with Snoop. It wasn't like, it was intimate. It was us.
It was intimate. Okay, I feel like just so you don't feel like you're bragging, I'm going to tell the story of what happened because I was not there. And I know exactly what happened because I don't have a good memory with this. Hell yeah, I was going to remember. So you guys call me the next day and you're like, oh my God. So we're sitting there, we're smoking with Snoop and like his crew.
With him. He gave
and they were like,
he
was so chill, so nice.
One guy
he was being so they were like, it was so welcoming. It wasn't like creepy. It wasn't weird. They were like,
I had to make it clear because people that heard about it were like, oh, I bet you and your sisters did.
No, and
it was not, he's a good guy.
No, but let me finish. Right. Exactly. He's totally a good guy. And he's like talking about his family. So this was when Snoop had his reality show.
Yes.
So this is where I'm getting at that we'll cover both of those topics. And so in his reality show, it was so cute. Like it's him and his wife and like their cute little family and, you know, the background story of Snoop. And it was just, Snoop is Snoop, like just super chill. And it was kind of showing that.
Working innocent.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Just like, anyway. So he was explaining though, he goes to my sisters, he goes, you sisters should have a reality show.
Yeah, he did tell us
He goes, you should have a reality show.
He liked our vibe.
And they were like, there's another one of you. And they were like, yeah. You have to meet her.
Like,
she's
crazy.
She's
more.
And
he was like, 2 more.
Yeah, exactly. And so
you guys are funny.
Yeah, you guys are funny.
You guys are cute.
And
blew our heads up.
Like, and Lindsay's going, I don't know, we just don't think that we'd want like, you know, our business out there. And Snoop goes, oh no, you edit it to however you want to edit it. And he was, and I'm like, what? And so he seemed unfazed by it. You know, I don't think I want to do a reality show.
No.
I love the idea of this podcast.
It was just like it made us be like,
oh my God, we can do something creative. And
they were cool. It was a cool crew. Him and like his yeah, everyone was really nice. And it was
Yeah.
not, and in fact, because again, of course, people, which, were like, oh yeah, I'm like, no, he was not creepy. He was not inappropriate.
He was a girl dad.
Totally.
That's what it was.
And also, there were actually women that were trying to come into the backstage because there was like a photo opportunity right before that he was like, standing outside. They were not, he was like, they were trying to be like, oh, someone said like, I swear a girl was trying to like eat a strawberry or something weird.
Ew.
Or do something. He's like, I don't, he goes,
weird.
I'm sorry, I don't like, because, and you see how quickly it could become a thing, but he was not, he was trying to be kind to everybody.
Why wouldn't
These girls were like trying to like kissy faces and stuff.
That's
and
gross.
I was like, he's not.
He's married. That's weird. And even if he's not, why would you have to introduce yourself like that?
That's weird. And we were just hanging out. We were just
I think that's
being
so
us. We were
sweet.
like, yeah,
no, he
we'll
was
smoke.
like making someone's year.
And
I mean, he knew
the
it.
difference of when, this is also the thing. Weed is not a bad thing. Everyone's always like, weed is a drug. Not everyone, but there's the stigma.
Stop. I mean, come on. We grew up during that era of,
when I walk into a situation of backstage with what you would think of like a musician and a bunch of musicians, employees, friends, whatever crew that's predominantly men, and everyone's like more having weed than drinking.
it'd be better for everybody.
I'm just saying if like environments are like they were all just back there like smoking, like having a good time hanging.
Oh, totally.
And it's just also the stigma.
Well, but let me also, because we grew up, when you're talking about the stigma, it's because when we grew up, it was in the time of this. I'm wearing the shirt for those that aren't watching this that says the choice for me, drug free, ... drug free. And this is a vintage t-shirt that I found in like a closet at my high school. And I don't know whose it was previously, but it became mine because I was like, this is hysterical. And like on the back of it, it has this club from my high school.
That's what I thought earlier. I was like,
yeah,
is that shop?
It's shop. Yeah. It's
Students
shop.
helping other people.
It's shop from Catoctin High School. And so this was put on there. And at that point, not going to lie, like talking about the first time I got high, like the first time I got high was the summer going into high school. And so I found it humorous when I found this shirt in high school. Like and I'm like, cause I just never thought of, I'm sorry, like I don't know what it was, but I just never thought of something that is natural as a gateway drug. I was like, it's a plant. And I just never perceived that something that didn't have anything added to it, like how it could be that horrific, because that was what we were taught was it's a gateway drug. Yeah. And I will say, as someone
we were taught it was a gateway drug because it was classified as a Schedule I drug, which
but they also genuinely thought that it was.
Oxycontin.
But they also genuinely thought that it was.
Right. But that was also, I can't even remember the whole history of it. That was also political too, because wasn't it like something to do with like the
it was Nancy Reagan.
No, I mean of when it became a Schedule I.
Oh, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, so much.
But anyway, so that's the point where then there's this stigma on cannabis. But what it is, I think, is what we really wanted to touch on with this is like, we were talking with someone last night. We were at this dinner party and really our friend, like we're super lucky that our neighborhood, we've got just awesome people. And so neighbors and friends of ours had us over, and then like a bunch of our other couple friends and their kids and stuff over to their house. And amazing dinner, by the way. Thank you again. But one of the parents, one of the moms that was there, was talking about how she's like, oh, my husband doesn't drink anymore, and he's like, always been into cannabis. Yeah, there's a lot of non-drinkers. He's always been more into cannabis, but also just realized like with kids and just like how crappy it makes him feel. Yeah. And they were saying like after they would do dry January and stuff, they were realizing like, my husband, Joe Donahue, said the same thing. Like, he's like, last year after I did dry January, and it ended up being like from all of January through St. Patrick's Day, he's like, I just felt so much better. And he goes, so then I went, further this year.
Yeah, and then you're just kind of like, why am I doing this
we're
again?
not saying it's not like he needed, it wasn't like, it wasn't like he,
for him, he noticed the difference.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing. If you don't take a break sometimes, you just don't even remember.
Yeah. And I think the
Or
same for
not
cannabis
about
too.
even
I
remember,
think
but
anything,
noticing.
you know,
Totally.
it's the check-in with your body. And I think that's the difference for me is that alcohol, and this is genuinely me not judging anyone. I had drinks over the holidays. Like, I don't drink because of my health. I already feel bad. So alcohol just makes all of my symptoms worse. So I just don't.
Right.
So, but my point is though, is that, you know, alcohol does make, you know, most of us feel crappy, but you check in with you. But I think anything that you just give a pause to is good. So, you know, your body changes. So, you know, then how your body's really reacting to something.
Yeah.
Because I took alcohol out and I realized how good I felt.
Yeah.
You know, I take a pause with cannabis and I realized like, oh, maybe I was actually smoking a little too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's all relative, but I know for me, my anxiety, my pain, my, you know, inflammation, you know, many of the symptoms of just my now, I still feel weird saying this, but disabled body, you know, I benefit greatly from cannabis.
Right. And
like
that's
the creams and all the
it
things.
is, there are health benefits. And so that's what, like, with the whole thing with it having been Schedule 1, that's basically what it means. Is like, if it doesn't have medical benefits, and it's like, well, no, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
And so that's why, you know, states like Maryland are correcting that. Like, it's, you know, making it now that Maryland's recreational. We love you, Westmore, and it had been medicinal, and more states are following suit. And like, that was also what came up at the party last night. Was the couple had begun on a trip recently to Minneapolis, I think
that's what they said.
and they were like, we went to breweries and both not drinking alcohol, but these breweries had the option of having the THC seltzer drinks.
Yeah.
And they were
Every
like,
single
this
one
is
they said.
awesome.
Yeah.
They're like, so we could still have like a little something. And it's also just not for everybody, but at least for me, how my body, and I understand people's bodies respond differently. I like a drink like that probably has like a maximum of 5 milligrams. I don't know what
the ones I saw
what
in
the
New Orleans
milligrams
were,
are.
it was something like that.
Okay,
5, 6,
in their
7.
state, but it just takes the edge off of, you know, it's like a little, you know, weed can be both a stimulant and a depressant. So it's definitely something where, you know, I do think at times helps my anxiety
And my ADHD, like edginess,
but different,
it calms that down too.
Yep, but it's different strains, and that's what we're so lucky
Yeah.
to have now. Like the shit I was smoking in college that I could just get my hands on, or, you know, even after, where I was just buying from wherever, because now I know what I'm buying. I know what's in it. I know about the strain, so I can also. It'd be like if you could go into a liquor store and pick the alcohol that you're like, okay, I want to feel happy and have good energy and relaxed. All right, cool. And then
Can
I
I
go.
tell you sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, that's how I go shop for my
Exactly.
weed. And shout out to Leafly, a
I tell
company that
people-
is not sponsored, but I used to work for. That really great app for helping you figure out the strains before you even buy them.
Yeah.
But because it's like you can choose what works for you. But I think people too, there's also stigma around. I had that experience when, and it's like,
Way better with these. I just took my shades off.
I know. We also started with the shades on. Yes, for 20. We were outside before, and then came in under these
And then,
lights.
you know,
and
you
I
were
was like,
stoned,
I
and I'm
felt
like,
cozy with
yeah,
them on.
like,
I'm
come
like,
on.
oh,
This
go
is
ahead,
really
Kris
nice.
Jenner. I don't know. It felt good.
No, it feels good.
So we just went with it.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You know, authentic self. No apologies.
Well, and a lot of stoners, come on, we wear our shades. We wear our shades.
Wear
Okay.
shades when you want to.
So it's fine.
So don't question.
I'm
Don't
dead.
you dare. I'm kidding. But no, just saying that the stuff you got your hands on in college, it's like, it's not that. And so if you're someone that wants to dip your toes back in too, I would say, or you never have, like, don't be scared. Just go to your dispensary.
Go to your dispensary. Okay, so here, can I tell you my, so I tell people to treat the dispensary like Starbucks or a coffee shop. I feel like even Starbucks can honestly be kind of intimidating. Like, I feel like your local Like, I feel like in Annapolis, like bakers, you know what I mean?
Like you would be at a pharmacy. What are your symptoms?
Yeah, what are your symptoms? But, you know, like it's welcoming and cozy. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like a pharmacy. You know what I mean? It's not like, what's your cereal? Like all the things. Yeah, it's chill.
Happy people and
it's not frantic. Welcoming. It's calming.
Not intimidating.
Not intimidating at all. And so you go in there and I tell them, like, treat it like that kind of a barista or like Oscars, you know, that kind of a, can I get something that's like a, you know, and then it's like half calf, you know, it's like the Will Ferrell in that, what's that movie? Kicking and Screaming, where he like figures out how to drink coffee and he's like, yeah, oh yeah, that's a half calf. Same thing. Like you go in there and I literally will be like, okay, I need something to like keep me like stimulated, but just to like get stuff done, but just like take the edge off. Then I need something to, you know, for like a happy hour feeling, like at the end of the week. You know, then I need something to for pain. I need like a deep indica for pain. You know, and I just literally go through and then I will literally say like, and then I need something for like brunch. Just think of like brunch. You know, I want to have like a buzz on and it's Saturday.
And I don't want to have
I don't want to have a hangover.
People feel like liquid courage. Imagine having like a little boost of just like, it's like a little kicker.
Just a little kicker.
Like
but you're in control of your body still. Complete control. Control.
I say this too as an experienced
person
with cannabis that's been consuming for many years.
I was going to say,
thank God, because truthfully in college, so many people did not know they thought I was just drinking. They did not understand. I was the weed girl. I had my one hitter with me when I would go out. I hated taking shots because it gave me migraines and I get terrible migraines and like the hangover for me.
Our favorite thing in DC, because it was easier to get.
And I would just smoke weed all the time. And I just loved that I could go out. And for me, I was always I was always good with weed. It wouldn't make me as tired. Like I was a sativa girl, good hybrid.
And also because of your anxiety too. Think about it. Looking back, it's like that was me.
Yes.
Like genuinely, that's what I feel like. Like
it totally helped me with my college.
I mean, and think about it too. Like, and that to kind of lead into the other piece of this is the health. Like that's where I feel like I always knew that cannabis helped me take the edge off. Like I didn't know it was anxiety. But I just felt like, I'm less tense. Like, but think about it. You've heard from our other episodes. We don't need to go there, but like we were, you know, the only in an all white community. And so you're on edge already. And so I'm just saying my trauma, my anxiety, like I knew, so mentally I already knew I needed something. Like, I'm sorry. Like I was, when you're always like looking out for what's the next thing, what's the person on the bus going to say today, like whatever, when you're always kind of so that's the other thing where don't mock me or don't like judge me for needing cannabis when the reason I need cannabis is because of the environment that you have forced upon me.
Or just like, that's what I want to do. So like stay in your lane.
Well, I'm just saying from a political perspective, people say that like, oh, you can't, I'm not going to legalize it. Like, because of this system, I need it anyway, and it helps me, and it's medicinal. And it's indigenously medicinal, which is also, I'm like, stop, just stop.
Right.
Just because you say it is doesn't mean it is.
Tobacco, get off me.
You
know, get off me.
I'm like,
rip that off the shelves.
I'm not judging you for drinking alcohol. Where's the prohibition
on tobacco products?
Right. I'm not judging you for drinking alcohol. So how could you? And my doctor says never drink alcohol. If you can avoid it, don't do it. But he's writing me a prescription for cannabis. But don't judge me. That's all I'm saying.
But seriously,
I'm not judging you. So how could you judge me?
Right. And it's also like the biggest, it is. I think of that all the time with smoking. Like I laugh at the doctor's office when you get, you know, the form of, how many drinks do you have a week, like on your paperwork? And then it also like, do you smoke? I always assume, and I think actually it says, do you smoke cigarettes? Do you smoke? And how many? I never write in there that I smoke weed unless it asks me about it. Like I tell my doctors and they never have a problem with it. They know that, like, you know, but on the sheet, it also will say like, do you do any recreational drugs? And I'm like, I write in for my drugs, like cannabis or whatever but I say that too of the smoking part, like why is there no prohibition of tobacco?
Yeah. Well, also, but too, I mean, that's a whole
You know,
other,
that's a whole
right,
other
that's
thing.
a whole
But I'm
other
just
thing.
saying it just makes no fucking sense.
Exactly. But no, and I do
And
tell
there
my doctors.
are benefits.
I do tell my doctors, all of them, that I do smoke
So do I.
cannabis.
Because
I do want them to know. I mean, it is for me very medicinal, and it's like I'm not trying to sound like, you know, a preacher or anything, but it is. It was the only thing that during my bout of not being able to walk, it was and just excruciating pain. So we're going to get to that, like my psoriatic arthritis, before I knew what was happening, you know, what my body was doing and how much pain I was in. That medical marijuana, like I said, get me the deepest body high cannabis, deepest body high indica medicinal, you know, strain that you have. And then also on top of that, the deepest like topical creams that you have. That was the only thing. I'm telling you, I was taking tons of painkillers. And that cannabis, that deep cannabis was the only thing that allowed me to go to sleep. I couldn't sleep otherwise. Ugh. And so that's when I'm like, do not judge me. Do not judge me. This is natural. This is medicinal. And
when you're using
it's working
cannabis,
for me.
I would imagine then like painkillers, you can be really constipated with those. The other side
Constipated, exactly. Let alone we all know of, we don't want to get addicted to painkillers. But yes, I did get. Yes. And speaking of constipated, because the doctor didn't tell me and it was COVID, so I wasn't able to like be as connected with mom. It was just like a weird, you know, I have a baby and I'm by myself with Joe. We're not able to even get on it just felt like a lot. I got really constipated. I did. And that was also part of it too, on the painkillers, because that was part of it too. Why, you know, I was just like stoned constantly, because literally it would keep the pain down, but my body wouldn't stop functioning in other ways. Imagine being on your back on a couch, not able to walk, and then also being constipated. I couldn't sit on the toilet. So then I'm in that situation. Like, it was fucking horrific. And come at me and say, and look at me and judge, because I know you do. There are people, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying in my circles even, but I'm saying that is
just like, because that's my biggest thing. I'm not saying to everybody, and again, thank you for sharing your story, because Morgan's battle with psoriatic arthritis.
I mean, I hope that wasn't too much.
No, it's not too much. But I also was just saying, like, it wasn't, and not, I don't want to say the word just. You had a baby and then got psoriatic arthritis.
I had a baby.
And was in isolation.
I can actually summarize this in honestly 60 seconds or less. I had a baby 11 days before COVID lockdown. My childbirth was incredibly traumatic. That's a whole other pod that we're going to do. It musters up a lot of courage for me to go there, so we haven't yet. But that was super traumatic. And I had a really extremely bad tear. And so I then also been not being able to move and not having my family. Like, I was that person that was like, we lived in Annapolis because our whole families are right in Maryland, both sides. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we don't have any help.
We don't have any.
So I have a bad tear. I can't move. I'm this exercise person to keep my anxiety in check and all the things. And at that time, I hadn't started my therapy journey. Or no, I had started my therapy journey. It was about my work thing, I think. Or no, maybe I hadn't started my therapy journey. I hadn't. And I wasn't on medication and I hadn't started my therapy journey yet. And I was all of a sudden then I'm in a dark place. I'm calling Jinx, our older sister, and like, I can't stop thinking of the bathroom. I can't stop thinking of the bathroom tiles. Like, I'm obsessing over it. Like, I hate that I chose those and da da da. And Lindsay's like, Morg, first of all, I love the tiles. I've always loved the tiles. I think it's so cool. You know, I'm obsessed with black and white. Tiles, yeah. And she goes, but I will say, you know, I know from just my family's experience, like talking about her and her husband, and from our like understanding and research around mental health, like when you get obsessive over something like that, like honestly, that's usually a sign of like depression. And like, you know, it was hard because she's not with me. No one can see me. This is just me finally getting able to talk to someone on the phone. But my point being is that was the beginning of then finally digging out of that, doing therapy, smoking weed, having like working through all my shit, the traumatic birth.
Well, also weed in that you can be cognizant. Like, I mean, you're high, but you're not. You're like,
I'm not drunk. I'm very
lucid.
aware of what's
You know,
I'm totally
the painkillers.
lucid.
I was around you when you were on the painkillers, and I was like, didn't understand. I'd never been around anybody that was on painkillers for like, you know, a period of time, not like one day after their wisdom teeth or something like that. And you were so, it's like being around somebody, this was how you were in moments. So I don't know how it is literally for other people, but it was like being around someone that's drunk, like they're blacked out and you don't know it. Like they're that person that you're like, what the fuck? And like the next day you're like, or like just saying random things. You're like, then you realize they're drunk because they just said random. You would be like, oh, like you were telling me, I don't know, I'm making this up. Like, oh, can you go move, you know, yeah, if you can move the vase off the counter, and then be like, a couple minutes later, like, because if, you know, if I'm going to have people over next weekend, or it was like random shit. I'm like, what the fuck is
Oh my God, I didn't even know that.
or like just random, like out of nowhere. And I remember I was looking at Mimi at the time, like, what did she say? And Mara, our younger sister, had been.
She's my nurse. She was my she was the
Marty's
nurse
nanny, then
nanny, and then
Morgan's
my
nurse.
Yeah. And still the nanny at the same time as the nurse.
Literally keeping the family together
During
during
Auntie Mimi.
those times. But she was like, "Oh, ignore her." She's like, "It's the painkillers." Like, I know sometimes it's fine. Like they were used to
They were
it.
they were used to it. They were
Joe
laughing.
Donahue, but
they were like, "It's fine."
I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, like
What is going
Joni
on?
knew. Everyone was. Yeah, it had been. But anyway, so my point being though is that was the one thing that helped. And
Sometimes just get your mind off of it.
and it's also, I know so many people that like the mental, the physical, and I just, whether or not, and even still, it's like, just let people live. It's my journey. It's helping me, you know? And, yeah, but anyway, I don't know. We were always a no pills, no powders crew.
Yeah, it was always our little
That was always
motto,
our thing
sister
of
motto,
like,
no pills, no powders.
you know,
like
mushrooms,
whatever. Again, I'm like
and
not judging you, but it
cannabis.
was just kind of like,
it was our safety thing.
truthfully too, for me, I also, people were like, oh, it was funny that like Morgan said with the shirt she's wearing, like the dare to keep kids off drugs. Right. And we had one in middle school that was like, if they called it cops, same thing. Cop came to school.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It was so fucking funny though. Okay. Cop comes to school, and COP stood for Community Outreach Program or something like that. Same thing as DARE, but whatever. And I remember they, you know, shuffling in the little cart with the TV on it. You know, it's like a movie day. They're like, okay, lights out. You know, deputies got a message for the class. And like today we're going to learn about, and it was like about cocaine. And like how they made, I learned more about how they made cocaine. I was like, dude. Okay, so we're going on a little trip to Colombia, and then they're like in the jungle, and like literally the process of them, you know, from harvesting, making it, and they're like, now it gets traded to US, and they're now cutting up cocaine.
I remember this too.
Get out your baking soda. I'm like, this is making people go, cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. Like literally you felt like it all of a sudden something that became something that in your head, in my head, was so cocaine, you know, I was like, away, oh my God, Len like, Bias.
How would we,
basketball player at College Park, University of Maryland College Park, that everyone was saying was going to be the next Michael Jordan, and then he OD'd like the day after he was drafted, or the day before, something like that. I can't remember the exact story. I was very young, we were fearful. But that was also like that was all fearful. Yeah. But then when I saw this video, I'm like, that's what cocaine is. I never tried it, but it was. I was really that Len Bias. I was like, ooh.
Dude, the one time I never tried it either.
And no disrespect. No, I have to. I literally was just like, I'm a weed girl. I don't think I want it. I was also too poor. I'm like, I can't afford that.
Well, it just scared me. But I will say this one time, I was with friends, and they start doing coke, and I go, no, that's not me. I don't do that. I'm in my 20s. And my one friend knows absolutely. I'm like, no pills, no powders. Actually, it was like several of them, 3 of them knew. These are the close friends of mine. They're like, no, it's fine. And my one friend goes, and I go, no, I don't want to do it. And they were like, it's fine if you want to do it, but don't if you don't. Yeah. And my one friend goes, it's fine. Just take a little bit and put it on your teeth. And I was so stoned, and I'm sure I had probably was drinking too, that I go, oh, okay, put a little on there. It didn't fucking do anything. It was just like, I don't know why.
Probably like dab.
I literally just did a little tiny dab, but that was my closest encounter.
It probably calmed you down. It was like a little Adderall.
I did.
No, but it's just like, it's not. So anyway, the gateway, that you also learn about that being a gateway drug in cops and in dare. I'm like, nah, it's not the same thing. But I think it's also something that, probably first got high when I was 16, and I've been smoking ever since. And
I don't even know if
I'm okay.
I don't want to even say, I feel like I don't even want to say when I started smoking, but
You don't have to. You said it, and it's not. I'm just saying, like, I
that
didn't
it's
even really
bad.
start then. I had smoked, but I didn't.
I had smoked.
Truthfully, I started smoking.
It wasn't like the access that people have now, right? Like
No,
we got to try it, like
in
like
college,
people drinking
I was
alcohol in high
depressed
school
at one
the same
point,
thing.
and that was kind of really the turning point too.
Yeah, college I smoked.
I think
way
I really
more.
started. I didn't even understand that alcohol was a depressant like that, and I'm like, fuck. It just I couldn't. Like I literally couldn't drink. Like it would make me literally, more sad than I already was, kind of thing. And I was like, weed, I could go out.
Yep.
And everybody thought I was drinking. Like I'd have a drink.
I would
but
have. I would always
not-
smoke, and then you'd have like 1 or 2 beers.
I seriously.
And now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, people know me of the times when I got turnty.
Yeah.
But that was honestly when I didn't have
But that's the
freaking
thing.
weed.
But
If
I'm
we had
just
had
saying,
weed, can you imagine?
I would definitely get drunk, hammered drunk, but
Exactly.
preferred.
But I'm saying, but could you imagine? That'd been so amazing. But I think, I don't know, to round it out with, I would like to, I think we've already touched on like the health sides of it. And
have fun with weed, but remember how fucked up it is. How many people are in jail?
how
too.
many people are in jail, and
Black people
So,
predominantly. People.
the
of
last
color.
prisoner project, I did a little bit of research before this
I
pod
should've
because
worn
it's
my
something
shirt
that,
for that.
Oh, yeah.
For this.
yeah,
What a
it would have
mess.
been, it's okay. You can do some content, in the shirt, but no, so approximately at any given time right now, there's over 40,000, people in jail for, in prison for cannabis. And,
That's fucking bullshit.
and it really is frustrating, especially because of, like I said earlier, like this is somebody at some point in time said that this thing was bad. But
Yep.
other people before then, the indigenous,
Imagine if you were in jail for alcohol.
I know, it's like, exactly. And I did some quick research too on,
And when I say alcohol, I mean like you like making it and selling it. Like I don't know, but like stupid.
But
shit.
I did some quick
Possession
research too.
of.
Yeah, but I did some quick research too on
possession.
on just the history of cannabis as well, and they have it tracked to, the 2nd century BC, like of indigenous people using this as a medicinal or ceremonial or. Again, like that's my point. Someone at some point in time
Took it away.
said this is now a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that is as well like
Saw something that other people did that they didn't understand. Judge said no,
turned
away,
it into something
made
else.
the
Now
law.
all these people are sitting in prison, and now, we have people, making money off of this industry.
Yes.
So just continuing to call that and pay attention to that, for all those of us, any of us, I think that speak about using the use of cannabis. I think if you're not talking about the people that are still in jail while we're now
that is true.
taxing
That's a good 420.
sell
Like,
of-
check out nonprofits like
Yeah.
Last Prisoner Project and see
call like
an eighth's worth at the dispensary would be a donation if you also check out their site and others.
Yeah. But anyway, so hopefully, for those that are interested in, cannabis or exploring and again, I was talking again because of this, mom that I was talking to last night, just saying how she would love to, she really thinks she was so worried about paranoia that she thought she had bad reactions to weed, but she was like thinking back to times like in college and previously where getting it from an unknown source, not knowing even what the strain is.
And that's why it was messed up too. When
Right.
It's not legal. It's just
Right.
like, you shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't have to
also,
do that.
The amount of pain, like you're saying pain, but also appetite, like cancer patients, people with chemo.
So helpful.
I mean, there's so many medical uses.
But yeah, so exactly.
Recreationally too,
Go
though,
to a
it's just-
dispensary.
Yeah, go to the dispensary.
Let them know your level of use. If it's 0, whatever, you can start with
Start small,
1 little
start
2 milligram,
small.
1
and
milligram.
if you want to do gummies,
there's
they're
drinks,
great.
THC
There's drinks that we love, like these.
We love it's the vibations.
We love
them.
vibations.
Cheers.
Thank you.
But yeah, just ask your local bud tender. They're always good, welcoming people.
Shoot us a DM.
Shoot us a DM if you have questions. But yeah, happy 420.
Thanks, God.
Happy holidays.
And thanks, y'all, for the support. But also, please, if you like it, share it.
Share it.
Sharing is caring.
Reviews are great, but especially the shares.
Like network.
We are getting so many people that have said, I'm loving the content. This is exactly what I need.
Maybe you're like, this isn't the episode, just share it. Pick an episode. And that's fine. But we've had a lot of people on different episodes saying how much they've appreciated the content. And this does take time. And we do love making it. And we do want to help people. But if you can help us, that would be amazing. Yeah, help us. And again, in the spirit of being real.
But it is filling up our cup. I will say that this is does not feel like work at all to me. This is actually giving me extra energy. My creativity is flowing. I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm confident.
It feels like sometimes
even more confident,
because we love communicating too and storytelling and like keeping up with our friends. And I think
I'm breathing better. I don't know how else to say it.
Like our, we come from, grandmothers, women that were great at communicating, keeping up with everybody.
Yep.
It feels like it's easier too for us to keep up with people. Like just sharing. Like, here's where we are.
And here's what we've learned. And I think, I am now 40. Stacey's inching towards it. And as we've
slowly centimeters.
Yeah, you're fine. I love it.
Just kidding. I love it. I love getting older.
And
it's a privilege.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like you get closer to those decades and those, and things change and they shift.
And it feels good.
I'm in my skin. I give less fucks.
And I just want to, and I don't want to your point, I give less fucks, but I also am like, please don't shame me. Let me be able to be who I am, my authentic self, and like understand it's not doing you any harm. If you're judging, I would happily answer any questions that you have. I would happily, and again, I'm not saying everyone, I can't believe you don't smoke weed. It's not that. Do you. Don't smoke. Do smoke. Do drink. Don't drink. Do whatever makes you happy as long as you're not hurting anyone and hopefully not harming yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But like, don't fucking judge me.
Yeah.
And stay in your lane. You don't need to make comments if like you saw me outside of a wedding, like taking a hit before I go into a reception at a place where I'm allowed. I've been told like, it's okay. You don't need to go like, oof. Oh gosh.
Girl child. Okay. I think we're going to wrap it up. I don't even want to get down the rabbit hole of that. Judging me to that. No. I know. I'm right there with you. I'm feeling it. It's getting me heated.
Happy holidays.
No, but I do want to just say happy holidays. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm appreciative of you all. I'm appreciative of those that you have no idea how excited we get over just one person reaching out and saying that they appreciate the podcast. So
if you reach out,
please
share it on.
Sharing is caring.
But that's a wrap. Love y'all.
That's a wrap. Divas.